Hey everyone, with winter here, I thought it might be fun to make some cute decorative little hats. These can be hung anywhere really, whether you celebrate a particular holiday or not. They're just kind of fun to make. So this is what the hats will look like, something like this, and then you'll have like a little loop that you'll be able to hang it from. And here's one that I made with red and white yarn that's alternating. So I'm going to show you how to do this. What you're going to need is you're going to need a pair of scissors, some cotton balls or tissue paper. You could even use newsprint paper, crumple it up and stuff it up underneath. This is going to be to stuff the hat when you're done to kind of get that top round. And some yarn or some type of a string and either a paper towel or toilet paper tube. You're also going to need a book, and the book can be thin like this, or it could be thick like this, but I would say approximately this wide. You wouldn't want one of those really huge books because then you're going to be cutting way more yarn than what you actually need. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to prep our yarn and our roll so that we can get going. So what I'd like to do is I like to take my yarn and I like to place the end of my yarn into the book, and I am going to wrap this. Probably for me, I like wrapping it about 50 times, and the reason I do 50 is because I like this to be nice and tight. If you don't make it tight and you don't do enough, sometimes you start to see the board underneath, so I want it to be nice and tight in there. So I do 50. And one wrap like this is considered 50. So this, or no, I shouldn't say that's not considered 50. Oh yeah, I misspoke. That's considered one. So you want 50 of these. So that would be 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Now when you're done, you're going to have a lot of yarn here. On this particular book, you're probably going to have to cut here, and then again at the end. So then you'd have your yarn here, just pull this out and you'd be done with this book. And you'd be done with the yarn. If you're doing a book that is hardcover, not soft cover, you're going to notice that this is higher. So if you had, you're wrapping your string around here, you'll notice you now have a place where you can put your scissors to cut without harming the book. So I have already pre-cut some yarn, so I don't need that book anymore. I've pre-cut my red yarn right here, and I'm going to set my scissors aside because I will need those. So the next thing I want to talk about really quick is this little piece right here, the little band on your hat. So notice that the band on this hat is kind of lower here, and then it's a little thicker here. So when you cut your cardboard, you want to make sure that you stay as consistent as you can. But then again, this adds some uniqueness as well. Whatever thickness you cut here, that is the thickness of the band on your hat. So you'll notice that the band on my red and white hat is thicker than the band on my cream colored hat. So I have part of a toilet paper tube, which is normally round. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to kind of make it into an oval. I'm going to measure how thick do I want my piece to be, and I am going to cut across. And so this is going to be the band of my hat. So next step, you are going to take I'm going to put this up like this just so that you can see what I'm doing. You're going to take a piece of your yarn and you're going to fold it in half, and you're going to place the loop through the opening of the cardboard you just cut. Holding the loop, you're going to grab the tails and bring the tails through the loop and pull. Okay, now you want this part to be tight, not so tight that you're going to rip the paper, but you want it to be snug, and so that these pieces are going to stay nice and close together. So I'm going to fold again, bring the loop through. I want to bring this right up next to the other one. Bring my tails through the loop. I'm just going to, so you can see this. You see how I'm bringing my tail through the loop? Just like that. And then I'm going to pull kind of nice and tight, and put these two together. And basically you would do that exact same thing, and you would continue all the way around. Once you're done, set that aside. I'll finish that later. Once you're done, you're going to have something that looks like this. So this is my white hat that is done. So now what I need to do is I need to finish my hat. This wrapping your cardboard is the hardest part. It's the most time consuming. The rest is kind of easy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of this yarn at the bottom. I'm just going to kind of twist it, only because it makes it easier. I'm going to twist it, and I'm going to kind of push it through the middle. So I'm putting the reverse, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to just kind of tug on it and kind of pull it up. So you can start to see that this is here's the rim of my hat. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of yarn that I have left over, okay, and I'm going to place this on the top. This is what's going to create the puff. Now if you make the puff really tall, it kind of becomes a little floppy. I like to tie it kind of towards the bottom, so it's kind of a shorter hat. So this part you need to tie nice and tight. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tie kind of close to the bottom, and I'm going to pull really, really tight as I can. And then I'm going to do that again. Really, really tight as soon as I can. Then what I'm going to do is with these two strings together, and notice how my two strings are about the same size, I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to make a loop, kind of like a Cancer ribbon. I'm going to hold it with my thumb, tuck my tails behind, and bring it through that, and pull. Now this is the loop that you can hang from. So I can go ahead and I can trim this. And then the next step, I've already tied this. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to take my cotton balls, and I'm just going to kind of stuff the cotton balls inside until I feel like it's kind of full. Make sure that this is out of the way. This little piece is out of the way so that that's going to be the hanger for hanging your little hat. And then you kind of decide how floppy you want your hat to be. I like my hat to be kind of like a little puff at the top to be kind of short. Gives it a little bit more volume. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut this across, get rid of that, and then I can just kind of fluff that out. And if you see that that actually worked out really well. If you see that one is like really longer than another, or you don't like something, you can just go in and kind of trim it. And there you have your little hat with your little hanger. So just kind of a fun, cute little winter project that I thought you might like to try at home with the materials that you might have. When you're done, please show me your work. Would love to see it. Have fun.